everyone. Today I'm going to do a tutorial about how to organize your Classwork tab in Google Classroom. So I'm going to bring up my sample class and I'm going to go to the Classwork tab. And what we're going to be talking about is basically how to create topics. So if you hit the create button with the plus, you can go down here where topic is and you can create a topic and how to create those topics to organize this page. So there are three different ways that you can do this. The first way is by doing it by units or modules. So if I'm going to do, say, module 1, I'm going to create that as my topic. I'm going to add that, and that's going to give me that topic. So students can go to that topic, they can know, okay, I have to get through module 1. And then obviously you would have module 2, module 3. You can see I already have a unit 1 on here. This might be helpful if you are working with students that can either work ahead or work at their own pace, and you're not having specific due dates for things. That helps for kids. I know when I taught the developmental psych class this spring, I had certain kids that were working, and so they couldn't always get on at the time that I wanted them to, or work around my schedule. They had their own schedules to work around. The second way you can organize your topics is through weeks. So you can see down here at the bottom, I've got week of July 19th through July 23rd. So this would be if you have a specific time that you want to have students turn things in. You want them to work on these assignments during this week. And when they get them completed, they can then move on to the next week. You can also schedule when these are going to be posted, and that way they can't work ahead. If that's something that's important to you. The third way that's been suggested, I don't know works necessarily if you have students that are specifically online. It might work if you're doing a flipped classroom, but it probably won't be helpful if we end up going completely online. And that's organizing by type of assignment. So let's say you have a bell ringer every day. You might have a topic called bell ringers, and students go in every day to that date and they complete that bell ringer. So that's another way to organize. Now, once you have your classwork organized, then you can start creating different things within that topic. So I'm actually going to go out of order here a little bit. I want to start at the bottom to where it says reuse post. So I've shown this before. This is really nice. You can go into any of your previous courses that you've taught, and you can click on what that is going to be. You click reuse. It's going to bring that up, and you can actually change anything in here that you want. So you add your due date. You want to change the number of points that you're going to offer. You want to maybe give a better description. Here I have due Monday, May 11th. Obviously, I would want to change that if I'm reusing it for a class. So once you do that, you can click assign. And it will go where you want it to go. You can also schedule it for a particular time that you want to schedule it for. The second one is material. So if you are posting for a week, you might have a post that says, read this first. And it's going to maybe explain what you're going to go over that week. This week, we will talk about dreams. That's something we talk about in psychology. Maybe you want to add your PowerPoints or links to your video lectures or whatever that might be. This might be a good thing that you're just giving material to kids in this. There's nothing that they can submit in response. It's just informational. But you can still go in and add things from your Google Drive. You can add a link to a website if you want kids to access that. You can link to files. You can link to YouTube videos. Again, you just go over to the right side. You select which topic you want that in, and you can post that right into your topic. The next one up is a question, and I actually use this quite a bit. I really, really like this. So you pose a question to students. How do you feel about um, dream interpretation? And you can then give instructions. Please post your response and then respond to 2 other students. This is what I generally did. And that's what I do for a lot of classes that I take. And so that seemed to just be a natural way to get kids to interact. Um, Again, you can put the due date on here, the number of points you want, your topic. Sometimes I would add, I had a rubric for how I graded them on those discussion posts. And then you can ask that question. Students are then able to see each other's posts, and they're able to respond to each other and reply to each other's posts. Again, I'm sure we've all done this. Anyone who took the blend flip class would have experienced that as well. The next one up is the quiz assignment. This is one that allows you to create a quiz from a Google form, and students then will go to that quiz from this link. And what's nice is they have grade importing. So you can just move my little face over here. You can actually import grades from assignments instead of having to go look at Google Forms and what the kids' responses were and then put them in your gradebook. This is going to put them automatically in the classroom gradebook for you. One thing you might want to consider if you're doing this, if you are posting this, and this is something that you want to do in class where you're able to actually see students completing this, when you go to all students, now I don't have any students in my class, but normally they're going to have a whole list of your students here. You can deselect students who are not present that day. And that way they can't go home and take this with their book open or their notes open if you want this to be an in-class, closed book, closed notes quiz. The last one is just your basic assignment. And this would be if you have a worksheet or you have something in particular that you want students to complete, a reflection, any type of response, something like that, where the students get that particular piece of work and then you want them to turn that back in again to you. When you are adding, for example, let's say I'm going to add something from Google Drive. And so I'm going to insert that. I'm going to say this is an assignment. You're going to see down here where it says students can view file. So in this case, the students are going to be able to open the exact file that I have placed there. And they're going to be able to view it, but they're not going to be able to edit it. So if it's a worksheet that you want them to complete, then they're going to have to make a copy of that in order to put their own work on there and then complete that. What makes this a little bit easier is if you make a copy for each student. And that way students don't have to go in and make their own copy, and it's just one less step for them to have to go through. The other option here is students can edit file. So there have been times, for example, I've had a student watch a TED Talk and I want them to write questions on a common document. So that might be a situation where I have one where all the students can edit the file. I want them to be able to contribute to that as a class. Again, you can just assign that. And one thing you find, like here, I forgot to put in the topic and where I wanted that. So remember, you can always just take these and you can drag them to whichever topic you want them to be in. Oh, I changed my mind. I want that to be in Unit 1. You just move it down like that. If you change your mind about how many points you want to offer for something, again, I can go in here. I can change the points. Maybe I don't even want it to be graded. Maybe I want it something different. You can change the due date. You can make any edits or changes you want. Okay, so that's the basic rundown of the Classwork tab. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll continue to learn about the different options in Google Classroom as we go forward.